Hi, I'm Jackie Rabbit. I want to talk to you today about spouses, what it's like when you come out, and what is the possibility of your future together or apart. There are lots of things we worry about when we discover we must come out to those we love, and it's very stressful. But I want to help you think about the possibilities and somehow get through it. Remember, give me a thumbs up and go subscribe. Click the bell so when I do post the next video, you get an alert. Let's go talk about how difficult this process is, coming out to our spouses and dealing with the future. Come on with me. We can do this together. Let's go. It is a very stressful thing to think about, isn't it? We're coming out to our spouses, or we've already come out. So now we have to wonder what's next. Well, I want to go through a lot of the things that people talk to me about, my experiences to a degree, and what the reality is. Do you live your life in fear, or do you boldly brace forward and move fast? Well, it's often a compromise. But let's talk about it. All right, so as most of you know my background, I came out to my spouse. There was a short period of acceptance, followed by, I don't think this is going to work. And we both had to figure out where we went forward from there. And we've done our best to simply remain friendly to one another, to be kind, to be warm, and deal with each other in a way that isn't hurtful or accusatory. We just want to coexist, and being friendly towards one another really is the best thing for us to do. Neither of us did anything bad to the other. We just needed to go different directions because it wasn't working for one or both of us. So when I came out, I made a lot of mistakes. My mistakes were not telling her right away, not telling her before we got married, really. But who does that? I mean, honestly. Oh, hey, I'd like to marry you. And by the way, I'm also a girl. So, we're still good, right? That's a tough one, right? We've hidden this all of our lives. We have kept it away from everyone else, denied ourselves, lied to ourselves about a great many things throughout our lives. And yet we expect ourselves to be that forthcoming with somebody right from the get-go. Well, no, we're going to present our best selves in the beginning. That's what we do. And over time and over years, we grow comfortable with somebody. And that could lead to the ability of saying, honey, I really want to talk to you. There's something very important I need to discuss with you. I didn't do that. I went right from taking hormones for quite some time and kind of being on my own little pathway to, you're going to kind of notice things that I think you've already noticed, and I need to tell you why. And there's some things about me you don't know, and we need to discuss them. So that was a bit of an abrupt interjection of this is who I am in the middle of an ongoing, relationship that it was already over a decade. So it was tough on my spouse. I didn't make all the right decisions, and I kept secrets, and those are all bad things. So from the very beginning, I will say, try not to keep secrets. You're going to have to come clean better sooner rather than later. You need to do it gently and make it not all about you, because it does involve them too. It is a two-person process, if you will. And I know you're worried. You're sincerely worried about, well, what happens if they kick me out immediately? Well, likely they won't. It comes over a process of time. And you'll also tell me, well, I feel so guilty for doing this to them. Well, wait just a moment. I did that too, and I was wrong. You're not doing anything to them. You're about to tell them the truth, or you have told them the truth. And that's what you owe them. What they do with that truth is their decision. And while it may affect you and it may affect them, their decision is their decision. And both of you need to do your best to use that decision to go forward positively, even if it means something really rough for the two of you matrimoniously. So, big word. I want to get through one real big idea that I didn't have in the beginning, and that's you're not doing something bad to someone else by letting them know my course of life is going to be going through transition. This is something I have to do. And I will tell you some of my history. And I will tell you some of why things are moving now. And I'm just letting you know, and I need to move forward. Some spouses will be very accepting initially. And after talking with family and friends and whoever else they talk to, their opinion may change. There also may be, in the case of many, a very large loss of trust. All of a sudden, the trust factor is gone. And once the trust is gone in a relationship, it really isn't much of a relationship. Without trust, you don't have one. So that could lead to a very big trigger of, I don't think we're going forward with this marriage any farther. And that could very easily derail everything. Now, I want to ask you, is it truly the end of the world without your marriage? Now, I'm going to tell you, you may not want to hear this, it truly isn't the end of the world. Now, you can still have a relationship with that person, but it's going to be different. And I will stand on that saying it's going to be different any way you look at it, whether you stay together in marriage or you don't. The relationship that you have with your spouse will change. It is going to. Even if nothing happens and you get old together and never tell them anything, your relationship will always be changing. That is the nature of things. Things do not stay the same, and the expectation that they should is a false expectation. However, it will be cited that you're making a change that then forced them, and that word forced, I'm going to remove and throw away. We're going to toss out that word. You're not forcing them to do anything but make a decision. The decision may be, I love you and we'll get through this and we'll find a way. The decision may be, this isn't what I planned on and you're not the person I planned on doing this with. You've clearly changed and I need to make a change too. Those two extremes can happen. I know you're scared of the second change. Things can move on and you can have a relationship with your spouse as an ex without the end of the world occurring. In fact, it can actually be, in the case of where it needs to be, a more healthy relationship for the two of you than if you were staying together and there was a lot of resentment and ill will towards one another, which you never want. You want to remain loving towards that person and kind towards that person. Maybe they're going to be your best friend, just not your partner. There's a lot of alternatives here. And I will say right up front, the one thing I encourage you to do through the entire process, whether you stay together or not, is be kind, be friendly. Always act in a spirit of friendship. Always. This is somebody you care a great deal about, no matter what the future holds, right? You married them for a reason. But they may need to do something different with the truth that you supply them. And that could be true of a lot of things. Many marriages are not going to stay together no matter what happens, whether you insert transition or not. So a healthy foundation, a loving, healthy, solid foundation to a marriage is where you start when you really truly plan on staying together. Not all of us have that. I was not building that kind of foundation, and sadly, it didn't work out for me personally. But things have worked out for us down the road where we weren't married anymore. I had the freedom to do what I needed to do. She had the freedom not to be involved in it directly because it was too much for her. And over the course of time, we're quite friendly to one another. We get to talk once in a while and we talk about what it is that's going on in our day. And it's very hot lately, so that was the last thing we were talking about. There's nothing wrong with a difference in relationship. And it's healthier for the two of us to be on our paths separately, yet still remain friendly to one another. And that's a very big thing that most people don't think about when they think of the dissolution of marriage. So this is a tough topic, and I know a lot of you are shaking your head, no, I don't want. Well, there's the other side where I see couples who, and I hate seeing this, and A couple of you know I'm speaking directly to you, actually more than a couple. So it's not one particular person. I'm not pointing at any one of you. There's a good, solid handful of you that I know are in this position, and I feel very deeply for you. And I hear the same thing over and over. I can't. I'm not allowed to. I can't save my marriage if I have surgery, is typically, and any surgery for that matter. I think the common denominator here is that the spouse is allowing hormones only and no dressing outside the home. Well, I'm sorry, but that is incredibly manipulative and controlling. And that's not a healthy marriage either, is it? It really is not. So that is something that will need help. And if you want help, you need to go seek counseling together and independently. That is vital. Now, what happens if your spouse simply says, I refuse to go to counseling? Definitely a bad omen. That kind of a marriage may not last no matter what happens. So you really have to figure out what to do. I think approaching it from a standpoint of friendship and love to begin with is the only thing you can do. I need to be honest with you. Here's what's happening. I love you and I want you to stay, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do other than tell you the truth, and we move forward from there. Suggesting therapy together, or whatever it is, and letting them know I'm willing to move at a reasonable pace, but I will need to progress. I can't be at year 12 wondering if I can have the ability to present myself as a woman outside the home. That's going to be really, really hard. I don't know any trans woman who could possibly survive under those circumstances. And I'm sure there are exceptions. And I'm sure one of you out there is like, that's me, I'm doing it. I'm like, you are strong, and I'm impressed by your resolve. Some of us love others to that degree. And if you're making that sacrifice, I applaud your level of effort, but I want to remind you, you need to do what you need to for you as well. You can still be friends. You may have a better relationship down the road. And this is really probably raising the neck hair on many of you. And I know how this feels because I've been through it. And I'm telling you from experience, it isn't the end of the world. In fact, it can lead to a better friendship in the end if you approach the entire process of coming out to your spouse with sincerity, friendship, and understanding, and follow that up with a lot of patience. I will tell you now, the one thing I wish I could say to myself if I went back is never, never, ever cause hurt feelings, no matter whether it's you telling the truth about something or anything. This is not we're not keeping a tally. This isn't a you did so I did. Only do things out of love. Only do things in kindness, and be the best friend you wish they would be to you, in reverse and in kind. Never, and this is the rule I will tell you right now, never from this point forward, never, ever, ever raise your voice to that person, or for that matter, anyone else, especially your kids, your spouse, anyone in your family. Don't complain about them to anyone in your family or their family. Don't do it to the kids either. Simply remain a calm, pleasant, giving, generous person who needs to do something for themselves that's providing truth and information. But no matter what is done or said to you, never, ever, ever raise your voice. Ever. It will not serve you. I promise you. If I could go back in time and tell myself one thing, it would be, don't ever get upset. Don't ever raise your voice. You will have a lot more to offer someone if, even if they're losing it, you're still kind and you're still friendly. It really, truly, kill them with kindness if you have that ability. Truly, it is best. Now, I know this was a tough topic, but I want to back this up one step and say, there is virtually no support for spouses of people in transition. And the support that's out there is often kind of negative. So unfortunately, it's going to be really super hard for them. So if you manage to have that spouse that loves you and is going to be with you through the whole thing, and they transition with you, that will serve you well. The only way you really get through it together is together. And that means that you actually have to be in the process of transition. You can't be the girl 12 years from now waiting to wonder whether or not she can dress outside the home and ever even talk to a surgeon about any surgery whatsoever. That's not transition. The marriage that stays together through transition transitions together. And those who do have a new and different kind of relationship than they did in the beginning. Removing the component of marriage to that relationship simply removes a component of marriage. It doesn't have to change a friendship. It doesn't have to change the nature of the relationship or the amount of time you spend together. It may be less, it may be more, it may be different. There might be a lot more clothes shopping or shoes shopping, one or the other. But just remember, at the end of the day, it's all going to be okay. You're going to make it through all of this. Don't let your fear guide you. Be honest, be truthful, and work with those you love to somehow move towards a good and friendly future, no matter what the outcome. Remember, I really do care, and that's why I've picked this tough topic today. Please don't be upset with me. I'm trying to help, and I'm doing my very best by sharing some of the things I've been through so you understand you can do it too, and you can be truthful and good to yourself while being honest and truthful and loving to someone else as well. Do your best. Remember, don't get upset. Don't ever raise your voice, and always be kind. You're not alone, and I want you to know that. And if you're really seeking some more words of wisdom on this, where I received mine was transgenderpulse.com. Go over there, sign up, tell them that Jackie sent you, and make sure that you let them know you're having a struggle. There's lots of women there. The moderators are fantastic. They've been through this. They understand. They will tell you what they told me. And while it was hard for me to hear initially, they were right. And they helped me a great bit. Maybe they can help you too. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye. I was over at my friend's place where she works, and I'm going to work with her someday. I'm really excited about this. So I was buying some of the same exact stuff she has so I can learn how to do it exactly the same way. And I told her about it, and she says, "Oh my gosh, are you just trying to be me? You're going to try to be me? Is that what's going on?" And I said, "Well, to some degree, yeah, a little bit, I want you to be my mentor, and I really want to do things exactly the way you do, so we do them together. And so we're on the same page." And she says, "All right, fine. Well, you got to get out. I have another client coming in, so I'll see you later." And I said, "All right." And she goes, "All right, get out of here, you stalker," And so, later that evening, I'm texting her and I said, "Wow, you probably should close your drapes after midnight. And by the way, I love the new furniture in the front. And if you ever open the curtains on the side bedroom, I'd really love to see what's going on in there."